an urgent message to the elders of the human race. Though it's coming through this mouth, it's coming from the hearts of millions of awakening souls. This message is to our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our moms and our dads, our uncles and our aunts. Please listen to our desperate cry for help here. And please help us with our situation. Drug them. That seems to be the easiest answer for those who don't fall in line with the system. We don't want any more of the drugs. And yet, there does seem to be cause for great alarm. And we can see the need for drugs to fall in line with the system. However, the issue is this. We want out of the system. We understand you were tempted. We may have fallen to those same temptations. Probably would have. We do, however, want to hold you accountable for your actions and for the way that things are today in the world. We now ask your help to help us undo some of the things that you did. Does this seem too bold? Does it seem preposterous for young ones such as ourselves to even imply, much less outright state, that what you did was a horrible tragedy to this world? Are we out of line in pointing out faults with this system and the way of life that you've given to us? Are we ungrateful because we're rejecting the inheritance that you worked so hard to give us? We must now speak up. We have to stand up as men and women and take responsibility for our lives and for the state of the world as it is in now. We must act upon what we believe. And we must speak boldly. We hope that your heart will be restored to ours and that our hearts will be restored to yours. We seek unity, but we cannot accept the way things are anymore. See, we've got to repair what you've broken. We've got to undo what you did. We've got to pay the price now. We're not saying that everything you did was bad or wrong. Neither are we saying that you are bad or evil. We are saying that what you have done to this earth and to the whole concept of society and civilization, well, it sucks. How do we speak so boldly? How do we go beyond all political correctness? We feel sick and disgusted with the lust and greed that has perverted our entire existence. Your lust and greed for power has marred not only this earth, but it has placed scars on the soul of humanity. It has left us in the ashes and in the dust. Your lack of wisdom and lack of discipline has left innumerable amounts of unnecessary suffering and pain. We were just little kids, little babies. You were supposed to take care of us. You were supposed to nurture us and teach us. But instead, you sent us off to those schools while you went off to make money, to feed the system even more. You chose to step farther from the land. You chose to let the concrete and technology take over the world. You chose to allow the political games and the killings for material gain go on unanswered. You chose to allow the monocropping and raping of our land. You chose to allow chemicals to pervade nearly everything we call food. You chose to believe in the American dream. And you chose to allow that American dream to expand and to decimate nearly every culture around the globe. You chose to step away from a life of service and surrender to the Most High God. You chose to allow complacency and religion to replace intimate relationship with God. You chose these things and then fed them to us in our baby bottles, even as we cried and screamed. And we are now saying, we don't want your dream. We want out. And if you love us, help us out. We do realize that much of what you accepted was offered to you in such beautiful packages and with such hopeful promises that rejecting those things would have been nearly impossible or very difficult for even the most awakened of souls. Those of us now expressing ourselves through this message are choosing to turn from that path. We are now spinning around and we are screaming out to the conductor of this vomit-inducing carnival ride, "Stop this freaking ride! I want to get off! Stop this freaking ride! I want to get off!" We don't want any more of the drugs so that we can fit in with the system, so that we can have the latest technology in televisions, or the biggest house, or the newest car. We want a new life. We also realize that most of you are so addicted to the system that you don't even see it as an addiction. You probably just see it as the way it is. It's only recently become this way. You may not even be aware that families used to sit together and eat together and live together as tribes and share the land. You may not even realize that you have contributed to the fragmentation of family and the demise of the human race. You're probably not even aware and don't even have a clue how much of the world's forests have been cut down so you can have that steak in your big fat belly. We have grace with you and we choose not to judge you. We don't pity you though, because like an alcoholic or a hardcore drug addict, you still have the choice. You could still step out of that system if you really wanted to. Because your addictions run so deep, we're not really even expressing ourselves here to set you free, although we would love for you to be free. In fact, because we have been born into your addictions like little crack babies, we're not even expecting a great recovery rate for our own generation. We are now pleading with you and even begging you to help us to help the next generation. And we believe we can help the next generation to become more free than we have been. Most of our generation is so caught up in it that they look just like you. They're lost. They're dying. They're hopeless. They're suicidal. Is that really what you want? Is that the heritage you want to leave your children and grandchildren? Did you find what you were looking for? Did you find peace? Did you find true love? Did you fulfill your purpose here on this earth? At the very end of your life, are you ready to stand up straight and give an account? Chances are, you just chased the cheese through the maze like all the other lab rats, not even realizing that that cheese was laced with cancer cells. How did that work out for you? Do you wish that upon us? Do you even think of the next generations? What would it look like if there were no extreme change? Extreme change. What would it look like? What if the next generation and the next 3 generations continued to abuse the earth the way that you have? What if we and the next 3 continued to hoard material things the way that you have? What if we and the next 3 continued fragmenting the family structure as you did? We now ask the magic question. Will you please help us and the next 3? How, you ask? With your cash, with your time, with your wisdom, with your energy, with your prayers, and if possible, with your example. We're not saying all of this just to prove a point. It is a call to action. We are asking you very plainly and very clearly to use your money to buy lands for us to steward, to live on, to replant, to revitalize the soil, to build structures, to build orphanages, and to make sustainable. We want to create a life outside of that system, help set up communities all over the world. Ante up. If this message rings true to you, take action, and take action now. We forgive you. We love you. We honor you and we respect you. This message was delivered in 2010 from the hearts of millions of awakening souls.